You've been talking about bringing back humanity in business for so long. This is one of those moments where leaders can finally say, I have a need, but it's clear in order for me to fill that need, I need to provide something else for the people who are going to be part of this organization. They're demanding something else. They're demanding an organization that's going to show that it cares about them and their mental health and well-being. How does that all fit together? How do leaders on one hand and the people who are doing the work on the other find a way to make it work?
A question that I have put on the table for a long time that I think is more relevant now than ever is, what is your basic belief in human beings? What do you think about human beings? That they are inherently good, that they're willing to do the right thing, that they come to the table with the best intentions, that they'll do everything they can to do the right thing? Or do you sort of have the opposite view? Right. It really starts with that for leaders. So I think, number one, this is a time for everybody to examine, what is that fundamental belief, and what have you done to build an organization, a set of principles and practices and mechanisms that really bring that belief to life. I think it's just crucial. That's sort of number one. And then number two, you brought this up, which is, as much as we might value human potential, how deeply do we actually care for every individual in our orbit? That's another question that's on the kind of inquiry agenda for leaders going forward. But let me unpack that in more concrete terms. There's an experiment going on right now in how you actually handle those questions on the ground really powerfully and productively in all of these back to work post-pandemic kind of policies that are being crafted on the fly. And I think where you see these really working and where they're creating more engagement and more goodwill and more sense of possibility are when leaders do a few things. And the first thing is they show up, number one, with this fundamental, just real belief in human goodness, a fundamental compassion. Those two things are sort of the base case. And then they show up with a real learner's growth mindset, which is they say, hey, this is a condition that's evolving on the fly. We don't have all the answers. We're going to keep experimenting and evolving, but we're going to do two things. Number one, we're going to be really open and clear and over communicate with you what's going on. Number two, we're going to take your needs, your viewpoints, your perspectives into consideration. And even better, we're going to involve you in the conversation and the decision, right? And then number three, the one thing everyone's woken up to, we get that you all are different individuals with different circumstances in different places in your life. And there's no one policy or program or set of rules that's going to work here. But we do have a few principles by which we're going to play. And the principles that seem to be the winning principles right now are around, again, individual solutions, whole human solutions, a fundamental kind of flexibility and freedom that's offered up to folks. And so that's sort of an anatomy of what I think is kind of the productive response. And you're seeing the organizations that are approaching that. I think Microsoft is a great case here. There's some other organizations that have really sort of played with this. You're getting a lot more goodwill and engagement and less of that great resignation factor.